Today I wanted to talk about Omarchy. Of course, this is the Linux distribution that just received $8 million in funding, which is a massive amount for a Linux distribution. The question is this going to make the year of the Linux desktop? I'll tell you what I think about that maybe closer to the end of the video. What I wanted to do today is look at Omarchy, a little bit about what it does, and some of the weird stuff around going on. I saw an X and I was like, oh, that's neat. So let's go ahead and chat about this system here. Let's just go ahead and see if I can do. Here's our basic wallpaper here. Now, the installation of this is actually very flawless. I think it took, in fact, it tells me, I think it took about 3 minutes to install. Very easy, simple installer. I plugged this guy in. Now, it wouldn't run on VirtualBox. I'm having a lot of troubles with the VirtualBox right now. I think it is actually about time to invest in updates in the system here. We are running this on GNOME boxes, which it is working pretty flawlessly. In fact, I watched a number of videos on this system here as well. But the installation is not a typical installation, but it is very easy, very simple to do once you get it started. Now, the thing about Omarchy is this is an entirely keyboard-driven system. You do have a mouse. You can do some things with the mouse. You know, here's your display, here's your audio panel and internet. We have a weather system, which I had to configure. Oh, and by the way, I actually had to relearn how to use Vim again. I mean, I actually have my cheat sheet over here. I had to relearn how to use Vim again because there is no way to set the monitor resolution. Yeah, you can come down here and set scaling and text size, but there's no way to set the monitor resolution without using Vim. Believe it or not, come down in here and under monitors, and it opens this guy up here. Let's go. We'll just go ahead and open it in read only. So I actually had to manually configure this file using Vim. Of course, now I remember. Hit A. That allows me to do the edit. Hit escape to leave. And then, of course, I did remember these guys here. I'm just going to quit entirely without writing anything. No, I do not wish to write anything to the file right now. Let me just close the window out, which is meta W for whatever reason. The downside about this system, now this is using Hyperland, which is a tiling window manager, or I think it's called a scaling window manager for Wayland. It does work pretty well, but you do have to remember some commands. Lots of commands. This is why I do not think this is going to take over the Linux desktop. All right. This is a neat, compelling system. It is pretty cool. It is fun to use. And taking the time to get to learn it, I have no doubt it'd be a very good system to use for a lot of applications. The problem is our modern world is not one that's going to want to relearn how to do everything with this, especially since we're such a touch base, to ask a lot of particularly the younger people in our society to learn all of the hotkeys it takes to manage this keyboard-based system. And it's just too radically different than things that we have seen. But the foundation is seeking to come in and raise awareness of it. And there's some questions about why did the people put the money into it? Was it a business thing? Was it the fact that this is, another thing. This is almost entirely vibe coded. 30,000 lines of code went into this version of Omarchy. And the question is, did they actually audit all of that code? Now, I'm not seeing anything in here as of yet that's like absolutely stay away, but there are certainly some questions. Of course, down here, incubated by 37 Signals, they donated $1 million. Basecamp and Hey, those are the makers of Basecamp and Hey. Cloudflare donated $1 million, as did Michael Dell, as did DHH, who is the creator of Omarchy. And that is another question I have: is this run managed entirely by him and his AI bots, or is this managed by another team? I guess with $8 million, he can probably bring in some extra help. And so I wanted to see what the whole list of the developers were here. Let's see if I have the whole list. It looks like, oh yeah, here you go. So you have Michael Dell. Each of these gave $1 million. Jack Dorsey, Patrick Collison of Stripe, Toby, Lutke of Shopify, Matthew Prince of Cloudflare, Brendan Ireb of Oculus, Jason Fried of 37 Signals, and DHH. I believe that he developed Ruby on Rails as well. So there is certainly some good stuff behind this distribution. Now, there's also, of course, because Linux is getting drawn into politics as well, there's some controversy. So you ask Google here, and I wouldn't ask Google usually. It's just Chromium was the default web browser, and Google was set up as the default. And so, of course, they gave me the AI overview. The Omarchy Foundation, which, as the time of recording this video, as I think is 3 days old now, 3 days old. The nonprofit organization behind Omarchy Linux operating system is closely associated with anti-woke and right-leaning tech politics. Oh, God. Okay, little boy, go over there and play with your stress ball some more. The Founders Politics, launched by David Heinemeier Hassan, DHH, a well-known tech entrepreneur. He has publicly and frequently criticized diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and woke politics in the tech industry. His cultural and political views have led some critics to label him as alt-right or right-wing. So, yeah, Lord help us. We can't put together a foundation with $8 million to expand Linux. No, we have to start taking sides because we don't like it. So just looking at the Google results for this, out of the loop, what's the deal with him? Of course, that's Reddit. Framework supporting far-right racists? Wonderful. All right. Omarchy is not a distro. DHH's right-wing AI boosters tend to be right-wing, and I guess, I don't know. Leans right-wing. Omarchy gets a much colder reception here on Lobster RS. Okay, what is Lobster RS? Okay, just keep on pulling yourself in the bucket like a bunch of crabs, I guess. Midlife crisis. Okay, definitely create a big tent. We want to open source software to win. We don't want to partner on an individual's organizational beliefs. Okay. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of controversy over this, and it's very interesting. There's in bizarre move, Framework embraces deep extremist. God. Oh, Lord. All right. Well, all that was fun. Let's go ahead and have a brief look at what you get with the operating system itself. So as we said, it is based on Wayland. This is Hyperland. This is effectively the default. I did very few modifications. Obviously, I modified that file because in GNOME boxes, it doesn't report the correct monitor range. I had to use Vim to fix the monitor. That was fine. You can also do your text scaling. And there's actually hotkeys for all these as well. If I can remember, I thought it was... There you go. Yeah, it's your Windows, your Meta, or your Super, whatever they call that. It's the Super Control and A will bring up your audio. I think it's like the whole combination of like a 700 keys together, I think, to bring up the weather. I can't remember. There's a weather app key as well. I can't remember what it is. If you do your Meta, if you notice in the upper corner up here, your Meta key and your numbers will actually go and switch between your workspaces. So if I were to do something like I can open, I think that's a browser, and then I can go over here, and I think this is a terminal, and I can go to the third one. So I can go back to the browser, back to the terminal, and just with some simple hotkeys, I can go full screen, or I can kind of go screen like this as well. If I don't do that, let me go back to this one here, and we'll open a terminal as well. I can also go into a mode here that allows scrolling. So then if I wanted to do something like, let me pull up Let's pull up another terminal. So you see now that we have scrolling, hold the meta key and the arrows will allow you to go back and forth. And then I think is it V, Control V, something with a V in it. Nope, maybe not. Oh yeah, that's right. Meta Control V is the clipboard. There was one of them that allowed you to go, was it L's? Oh yeah, there we go. It was L's. So the L's allows you the dwindle mode. So this is what allows you to do different modes there, and then the L also then allows you to go back to scrolling mode. So there's a number of different scrolling modes you can do. So of course I can't seem to access anything else when I'm on full screen. So there's what you do there. And you can spend some time to study, learn, and memorize the hotkey list. As I said, there are a lot of them, and I am far from the expert of it yet. Given enough time, I mean, this is kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe it'd be fun to throw this on one of my spare laptops and test it out in a production something. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. But your super and your space key together will pull up our main menu here. And I want to say, yeah, there you go. You get just the apps with the meta, the alt, and the space. So these are the apps that are pre-installed on it. So you see there's some apps in here like Discord. I wouldn't use Discord. There's also a bunch of web apps for all these Google products. So there's a lot of things in here I'm not sure I personally am interested in. There does seem, in fact, to be a lot of your big tech integrations into here. This is that same menu there. You can actually learn. Here's your key bindings. So here's the various key bindings that you have. You can go through those if you are interested in that. So you can learn about a number of different things. Here's Omarchy itself, Hyperland, Arch, NeoVim. And then you can go in and here's various triggers. Like you can do capturing screenshots. You can do screen recording. There's QR codes if you want to capture one of those. You can do screen colors. And there is hotkeys for literally every one of these. This will allow you to select a screen color, which is actually a really useful feature for some of the things I do in web design. So that's actually pretty cool. And then inside, let's see, there's style. You can change a number of different settings inside of there. The other thing, here's that monitors. Again, that's what gives us our file we have to configure with Vim there. You can reset the computer, reset everything back to scratch. And under the install, this is neat. Here's your basic Arch packages here. Let's see what that does. So this just gives us basically a terminal that allows us to install stuff. But we also have the AUR. I'd recommend not using that right now. Web apps. Under your styles, we can install various themes. This is services, again, really tied in with big tech. 1Password, Dropbox, Spotify. These will actually allow you to add. Tailscale's nice. These will allow you to, there's Bitwarden as well. So once you install these, you will get some deeper integration. So like if you install Dropbox because you use it, you'll actually get a Dropbox icon you can interact with up in the menu. So that's actually pretty good. Here's some development stuff. I wonder why Ruby's on Rails first. And then there is also, that's not what I wanted to do. They do also have some things like the default browsers. You can do Brave, Brave Origin, Firefox, Zen, Edge for some reason, Chrome also for some reason. So if you don't like the default of your Chromium, and I really don't, I'd prefer to use Firefox, believe it or not. Oh, that's interesting. I guess I might actually have to do something fun with the terminal first. Okay, well that did not work as well as I was expecting it to. Nope, that's I keep on forgetting exactly which keys are which. I think it's that one. There you go. It's possible you just need to kind of do this the first time. It wants to download wants to download too much stuff for a simple video, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. Let me see if that was just enough to trigger the installation of Firefox. There you go. Yeah, I'll just needed to do that, and now I can install Firefox. Now, on this menu here from the website that I mentioned, not only do you have all of your hotkeys, you also have your big users manual. One of these does talk about the browsers down here, so it will give you information. So if you do not want Chromium as your default browser, you can set the default browser to Firefox. So I'll go ahead and press any key to do that. Let's go ahead and boot up a terminal, and we will do Omarchy default browser and Firefox. And that should set it. So now you get that notification up there. Firefox is now our default browser. So now if I hit my hotkey for my browser, which is Meta Shift Enter, there you go. Now we get Firefox. Although I'm not sure why I'm getting this pulsating Firefox. There you go. Apparently that's the new thing. Sure, let's import our browsing history. I've never done that before. Sure, why not? No, we're not going to explore the staff recommendations of extensions, although there are actually some extensions you can install on this that you can't install on other things. I wouldn't install that, though. I would never install that thing. That might be a violation of something, but anyway. So you can see that they have a whole thing there on pretty much most of the main features inside the system. So just been playing with it here for about a couple hours here, and honestly, I like it. It's pretty nice. It's probably not entirely my cup of tea. It's not really the way I work, but I could see myself playing around with this for a while, getting used to how it works, making this something of my own, seeing what all I can do with it in a more flexible system. Like, as I said, a spare laptop or something. Maybe I might try this out in a little bit more long term, especially since, the mere presence of it might irritate some people. Who knows? But anyway, there is our brief look at Omarchy. Let me see real quick here if HTOP is installed. Nope. Is BTOP installed? Hey, BTOP is installed. So let's see, we're getting, you can see we're getting a total of 7 gigs. How much is actually being used? 32% of total memory is being used. So it's running 2 gigs right now. I'm not sure why it's so heavy, for what it is, but it's not working too badly. So that is actually not too bad. So there is our brief look at Omarchy. Let me know your thoughts about this. Is this a distribution you might be interested in looking at? Or is it something you'd say, I don't know, maybe I'll look at it another day. Anyway, with that, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.